Hey everyone, Jennifer Lee Chan here from NBC Sports Bay Area. It is Wednesday, and the NFL just announced with USAA that George Kittle has won the 14th annual Salute to Service Award. Quite honestly, I can't believe he hasn't won it before this, but finally, George Kittle is being recognized by the NFL. He's been a finalist for the last 3 years. He's been nominated 4 times for all of the work he does for military veterans, active duty soldiers, men and women. So, George Kittle, over the last 6 seasons, he's been in the league for 8. The last 6 seasons, he's given away 400 tickets. I've seen him host them on the field every game, pregame. During home games, he does a meet and greet after the game. Can't always do it at away games, but every home game, there is a room kind of right near the 49ers locker room, and it's called the family room. And a lot of the players drop off their kids while they go watch the game. There's all the players' kids kind of hang out in this family room. It's like a little 49ers kid daycare during the game, so the parents can go watch the game with a little break from the kids. So after the game is over, obviously parents pick up their kids, they start to file out. George Kittle meets and greets the military that they've hosted at the game after the game there. And honestly, it's not like a hey, nice to meet you. All right, thanks for attending the game. He's in there for a good amount of time. And I know this because Matt Maiocco and I record the 49ers Talk podcast in that room after every game. So a lot of times we're waiting in the hallway, hanging out, kind of loitering outside the locker room, waiting for George Kittle and his group to kind of disperse from the room so we can go in there, set up, and do the podcast. So, George Kittle, totally deserving, finally wins the 14th annual Salute to Service Award. I mean, talk about the stuff that George Kittle has done. He has donated over $250,000 over his NFL career to military nonprofits. That includes the Pat Tillman Foundation, PATS, Merging Vets and Players, Operation Freedom Paws, and Operation Serve. So, my cleats, my cause, my cleats. George Kittle kind of finds a new organization to donate to every year because he wants to spread the love throughout all the different organizations. So he's done quite a few of them. His background in supporting the military is from his grandfather and his uncle, who both served multiple tours. And he says it best. He says, the reason that we get to live the lives that we do is because of the military veterans and active duty who are out there fighting for our freedom. So here's George Kittle's statement. I'm incredibly thankful and honored to be this year's Salute to Service Award recipient. This is my 4th time being nominated by the 49ers, which is an absolute honor because it's important to me to show gratitude and support the military. My appreciation for the military stems from watching my Uncle Pat serve multiple tours in the National Guard and seeing firsthand how much it impacted him and his family while he was overseas. Without my family and their unwavering support, I would not be able to create these genuine and authentic relationships with the real heroes and the ones who should be receiving this award, the active duty members, veterans, TAPS, and the families who have lost loved ones in the line of fire. The support you see for the military around the league is so important, and the fact that the guys on every team do it, not just the nominees, is awesome. We are allowed to live the lives we live here because of the sacrifices they make, so we're just trying to honor them, show our support, and share as much love as we can. So it's not just the meet and greets either. George Kittle and his family, Emma and Bruce, they've founded Hidden Pearls podcast, and they share stories of military veterans on the podcast. And I mean, they've also developed an app to help veterans with their mental health, being able to reach out with different resources. Um, it's amazing that a guy who is a professional football player with all the things that encompasses, right? Recovery and training and studying and meetings, and the fact that George Kittle is an all pro player, a Pro Bowl player, and still finds the time to do all the things he does. I mean, it is with some help from his family. I know his father, Bruce, kind of arranges and talks to different military organizations to find the people that they want to bring in for each game. Um, his mother, Jan, is completely supportive. They both kind of usher the people that are guests around the stadium. And then Emma, his sister, is also part of the Pearls podcast. And then, of course, Claire. I remember when we were in, I think it was Nashville, a military veteran, Chris Kleinsorge, um, kept yelling at all the media, that anybody that was on the sidelines, to try and get Claire's attention. So I got Claire Kittle, George's wife, to come over to Mr. Kleinsorge, and he gave George Kittle part of his uniform that he wore in Afghanistan in his active duty tour. Signed it, gave it to Claire to give to George, and later the Kleinsorge family was on the field. They welcomed them into Levi Stadium. They did a whole meet and greet. George Kittle, I think, gave him a jersey. I mean, just really, really cool stuff that George does. And, it's nothing that anyone has told him to do. It's just all happened organically. And the fact that George has continued to do this repeatedly, whether he's playing in the game or not, whether it's a win, whether it's a loss, he always makes time for the military branches, all of them. And sometimes it's the people who do the flyovers, sometimes it's, people that just, he's met along the way. Organizations reach out to the Kittles and they bring them into games. It's really cool. Um, this all started back in 2019. So in the Pro Bowl, I believe it was 2018, um, George Kittle met the Lamar family, and he met them at the Pro Bowl, and he's like, well, let's get you tickets to the Super Bowl. So he got them tickets to the Super Bowl, and the Lamar family, he's a fallen soldier, and the family actually gave George Kittle his Purple Heart. That Purple Heart is in George's locker and it remains there. It's there all the time. He pulled it out and showed it to me in December when he was nominated again for the fourth time. And, it's one of those things that, um, I know it means a lot to George, and it meant a lot to the Lamar family. And they come to every training camp, and yeah, it's great stuff. So I'm headed to New Orleans a little later today, actually to Dallas and then New Orleans. Not that you need to know about my travel plans, but I'm going to be on the red carpet. So hopefully we'll talk to George Kittle about being the winner of the Salute to Service Award. Also Curtis Robinson, who is nominated for the Walter Payton Man of the Year. And then there's going to be some former 49ers players on the red carpet as well, like Solomon Thomas, who is the New York Jets Walter Payton Man of the Year nominee, Eric Armstead, who is the Jacksonville Jags nominee. And Myles Garrett is also slated to be on the red carpet. So maybe we can ask him if the 49ers would be an attractive destination for him to be traded to. Snoop Dogg is hosting. You can watch the show. It's the 14th annual NFL Honors Ceremony. It's live Thursday, 6 p.m. Pacific time on Fox, NFL Network, and NFL Plus. It'll be streaming. So definitely check that out. I won't be on the show, but I'll be on the red carpet trying to talk to as many players as I can get a hold of. And I'll report back to you with all the goodies when I'm done. All right. Hope to talk to you guys soon, and take care.